Hello, welcome to the first ever live breaking news on We Were Athletes Once podcast. I'm Cody and I'm here with Kyle, but we got some big news today. It finally happened. I didn't think it would, but Micah Parsons has been traded. He is going to Green Bay and he is being traded for defensive tackle Kenny Clark and two first round picks. So quite a haul to give up, but the Green Bay Packers have one of the best defensive ends in all of football. And Kyle, as a resident Packer fan here, what's your reaction?
Well, my original reaction is why did they have to do this as I'm on a 2-hour commute? Um, I'm on my way to Mizzou right now to get ready to cover their football game, and I get my phone blowing up while I'm doing that. So that's always fun. In terms of the actual trade, obviously I love it on the Packers side of things. Like you said, we're getting one of the best edge rushers in the game, and this has kind of been the Packers' MO for a long time. Is they always want to go out and acquire the top end edge rushers, and sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. Um, I wasn't old enough to remember when they went out and got Reggie White, but that was a big moment in Packers history that led them to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that
I
worked
was old
that
enough,
worked out pretty well for Green Bay.
yeah, I was old enough to remember them going out and signing Julius Peppers, and even the ones that haven't worked out. I think it was when I was my senior year of high school or my freshman year of college, was during the Khalil Mack sweepstakes, and the Packers were a big player for them or for him, and it just didn't work out. He ended up getting traded to the Bears, and the Bears obviously won nothing from that. So getting a player like Micah Parsons, I knew was something the Packers would be very interested in doing. It was just a matter of if Jerry Jones was willing to make the trade and if the Packers were willing to give up enough to get him. And, looking at the trade, I kind of expected them to have to give up more. Like two first round picks, it's a lot, but if you're looking at this Packers roster, you're probably looking at two picks that are in the late 20s, maybe even the 30s. So it's not giving up a whole lot. And then Kenny Clark was a great defensive tackle that I'm definitely going to miss on the team. But again, you're talking about one of the top three edge rushers in the game. This is definitely a win for the Packers. And I don't know if it necessarily makes us a team that you have to watch for the Super Bowl, but this was the youngest team in the history of the NFL last year that ever made the playoffs. So everyone on this team is going to get a year older. Everyone on this team is going to have a little bit more experience, not only in the NFL, but playing with each other. And you're adding a 26-year-old edge rusher that, is an absolute game wrecker. He can play on the ball or he can play off the ball too. He has a lot of versatility, a lot of athleticism. Uh, and, we also signed him to a 4-year extension from that as well for $188 million. Highest
Yeah, you
paid
did.
non-quarterback in NFL history. So I have a lot of thoughts. Um, like I said, I love the trade. I don't know if I'm necessarily in a lot of other uh, are in the same mindset as a lot of other Packers fans who think this is going to make us a Super Bowl contender or make us like we're going to win the Super Bowl. I think it could make us a contender, but yeah, I think as for how the trade's going to work out, we will have to see. Because, like I said, there's a lot of holes the Packers still have that I wish we could fill, but here we are.
Yeah, and I think this does give the Packers a step in the right direction. Anytime you have an rusher that's that disruptive, it can be a game changer. So we'll talk about them in our next episode of where we think everyone's going to finish. But this is, I think, is a step in the right direction for them at least. But we do have to talk about the other side real quick, and that's Dallas on the other side. this feels like they're throwing in the white towel for competing for the next few years, but they do get some pieces that are going to help them. Depending on where these finish and how bad they are, they could be sitting with 2 top 20 picks, or maybe one just real early pick and one late round first pick. Or they can package them together, move up. Maybe they finally say we can't do $50 million for Dak anymore and get rid of him and draft that quarterback of the future. I don't see it happening, but you never know what's going to happen with this. But it feels like Dallas is kind of done for the next few years. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But we needed to come with you with this breaking news to let everybody know Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, I never thought I would hear those words. It brings a smile to my face. This is a good day for Packers Nation. We'll see what happens.
All right, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode of We Were Athletes Once. I'm Cody. That's Kyle. We'll see you next time.